I want to be a dancer.
Well, the only trouble with dancing is it takes so long. You've been studying an awfully long time.
Oh, only 8 years. After all, Mother, you've been writing plays for 8 years. We started about the same time, didn't we?
Yes, but you can't count my first 2 years because I was learning how to type.
Miss Essie, the candy's hardening up now.
Oh, thanks, Reba. I'll bring some in, Mother. I want you to try it.
Did you finish the second act, Miss Sycamore?
What, Reba?
I said, did you finish the second act?
No, I've got Cynthia going to a monastery.
Wasn't she at the Kit Kat?
Well, she leaves the Kit Kat Club and there's a monastery, so she just goes there.
Do they let her in?
Well, I made it Visitor's Day, so anybody can go.
Oh.
Yes. So she goes and then she just stays there.
For the night?
Yes, but then for 6 years.
6 years. Wow. I bet she can bust that monastery wide open.
Yeah. 6 years later.
Oh, Mr. DePinna! Mr. DePinna, would you bring up one of those new skyrockets, please? I want to show them to Miss Sycamore.
Sure.
Oh, look, Penny. What do you think of these?
Ooh.
Cost us about 10 cents for a string. Listen. Nice, huh?
Yes, that's wonderful. Paul, have you ever been in a monastery?
No, I haven't. Oh, wait until you see these new skyrockets, Penny. We've got gold stars and blue stars and bombs, and then a balloon. Mr. DePinna thought of the balloon.
Oh. Well, did you do all that today?
Oh, well, sure. We made up all these, and then we made skyrockets. Oh, here we are. Here it is. Look, Penny. What do you think of this? Cost us 18 cents to make, and we sell them for 50.
Yes.
How many do you reckon we can make before the 4th of July, Mr. DePinna?
Well, we got 2 weeks yet. What day you driving up to Mount Vernon to drop that stuff off?
About a week. Say, we need a much larger booth this year. Got a lot of stuff made up. Come on, we're not through yet.
Oh, Mr. Sycamore.
Yeah?
I'm just afraid that the powder chamber is just a little bit close to the balloon.
Well, we got the stars and the bombs in between them, yeah?
Yeah, but that don't give the balloon enough time. A balloon needs plenty of time.
Come on, let's go down to the cellar and try it.
All right.
Oh, Mr. DePinna, if a girl you loved entered a monastery, what would you do?
Oh, gee, Mrs. Sycamore, I don't know. It's been such a long time.
Yes, me too.
Do you know if Miss Alice coming home to dinner tonight, Miss Sycamore?
I don't know. Maybe.
I'll set a place for her, but she's only been home one night this week.
Yes, I know.
Miss Essie's making some mighty good candy today, something with coconuts.
Nice.
Well, that's gonna be 6, and if I add Mr. DePinna and Mr. Kalenko, that'd be 8. So I better set for 8.
You know, Reba, I think I'll put this play away a while and go back to the war play.
Oh, the war play! I always liked that one. Boom, boom!
Okay. They'll be better when they're harder, but try one, Mother. I want to know what you think.
Ooh, they look lovely. What do you call them?
I think I'll call them love dreams.
Very nice. You know, Essie, I think I'm going to go back to the war play.
Oh, are you, Mother?
I've gotten myself into a monastery I can't get out of.
Oh, well, don't worry, Mother. It'll come to you. Remember how you got out of that brothel?
I wish I was still there.
Oh, the snakes look hungry. Did Reba feed them?
I don't. Reba, did you feed the snakes yet?
No, Donald's coming, and he always brings flies with him.
Well, make sure you feed them before Grandpa gets home. You know how fussy he is about them.
Yes, sir.
And here, take these into the kitchen. I think I'll have another love dream.
Mr. DePinna was right about the balloon. It was too close to the power.
Oh, you want a love dream, Father? They're right there on the table.
Oh, no thanks. I gotta watch.
Yeah.
Paul, I'm going back to the war play.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, we're gonna put red stars in and then the balloon. How to do it.
You know, Mr. Kalenkov says I'm his most promising pupil.
Well, you'd think with 40 monks and one girl that something would happen.
Essie, hey, Essie.
Woo! Oh, I like that, Ed. Did you write it?
Nah, Penny put it, I think.
Woo, lovely. It's got a lot of you in it. I made those new candies this afternoon, Ed.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can take them around tonight.
All right. Here's the big finish. This is me.
Woo! Woo! Ooh. Oh, that was fine, Ed. You remember it when Kalenkov comes, will ya?
Yep.
Say, Ed, why don't you and Essie have a baby? I was thinking about it just the other day.
Well, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it much. What about Essie? Do you want to have a baby?
Oh, I don't care. I'm willing if Grandpa is.
We'll ask him.
Yeah.
Religious play, labor play, sex play. It's got to be here somewhere.
I was right about the balloon. It was too close to the powder chamber.
You want anything printed, Mr. DePinna? Any more calling cards?
No thanks. I still have the first 1,000.
Well, call on somebody, will ya?
All right.
What's for dinner, Reba? I'm ready to print the menu.
Well, let's see. Cornflakes, watermelon, the candies Miss Essie made, and some kind of meat I forget.
I think I'll send it in bold-faced Cheltenham tonight. You know, if I'm going to be delivering those candies tomorrow, I'd better print up some descriptive matter after dinner.
Do you think anybody reads those things, Ed? The little pieces of paper you put in with the candy boxes? Oh, here it is. The war play. Poison gas. Oh, that must be Donald.
The boyfriend, eh, Reba?
Look at Reba smile. Oh, they're so cute together. Like Porgy and Bess.
Oh, hello, Raven.
Donald!
Evening, everybody.
Hi, Donald.
How are you, Donald?
I'm pretty good, Miss Ed. And how you been, Mrs. Sycamore?
Oh, just fine, Donald. Say, Donald, have you ever been in a monastery?
No, I don't go no place much. I'm on the leaf.
Oh, okay.
And here's the flies we caught a big mess of them today.
You sure did.
Well, I see you've been working, Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, yes.
How's Grandpa?
Oh, he's fine, Donald. He's over at Columbia for the commencement exercises.
My, you certainly do roll around.
They sure do.
M-E-A-T. What do you think he goes there for all the time, Penny?
I don't know, but it's so handy, just around the corner.
Oh, Donald! Mr. DePinna and I were thinking about taking those fireworks up to Mount Vernon next week. You think you can lend us a hand?
Well, yes, only I can't take no money for it this year because the government finds out I'm working, they'll get sold.
Oh, and I had a wonderful idea in that restroom just now. I was reading Trotsky. It's yours, isn't it?
Yeah, I left it in there.
Who's that?
Oh, you know, Trotsky, the Russian Revolution.
Ah.
Anyways, a great fireworks idea struck me. You remember the last days of Pompeii?
Oh, I do. Palisades Park. That's where we met, Paul. Woohoo.
I'm gonna do the revolution. A full-hour display.
Oh.
Oh, the red fire is the flag, huh?
Uh-huh. And the Tsar, and the Cossacks.
And the freeing of the slave?
No, Donald. The Russian Revolution. Oh! Why, hello there, Grandpa.
Oh, well, you should have been there. That's all I gotta say. You should have been there.
How was the commencement, Grandpa?
Oh, wonderful. They get better every year.
Big class this year, Grandpa?
Yeah, you don't know. Look, you are there snakes over there, huh? Yeah, huge class. 2 acres. Everybody graduated. Much funnier speeches than last year, too.
You want to hear a good speech, you go up and hear Father Divine.
Yeah, I'll wait. They'll have them at Columbia.
Donald, will you go into the kitchen and tell Reba that Grandpa's home and we won't wait for Miss Alice for dinner?
Oh, yes, Reba, Grandpa's home, we can have dinner.
We made a nice skyrocket today, Grandpa. Wait till you see it.
Evening, Grandpa.
Evening, Mr. DePinna.
We made a fine skyrocket today, didn't we?
We certainly did.
Wonder why we don't have fireworks commencements.
Nah, they don't make enough noise. You get a good commencement orator, he'll draw out a whole car load of fireworks and say just about as much, too.
Well, why don't the graduates ever say anything, Grandpa.
Well, I don't know why. They just happen to sit there in their little caps and their little nightgowns and get their diploma, then 40 years later suddenly say, where the hell am I? Yeah.
Oh, hello, Grandpa. You have a nice day.
Oh, hello, Grandpa. Have a nice day. Why I don't get a kiss?
Oh, excuse me, Grandpa.
Hey, and I'll take a tomato, too. Could have used a couple of these earlier.
Father?
Oh, no thanks.
Mother?
No, thank you.
Hey, Ed, play something, huh?
Oh, this one again. Oh, there was a letter that came for you, Grandpa. Did you get it?
A letter for me? I don't know anybody.
Well, it was for you, though. Had your name on it.
Really? Well, where is it?
I don't know. Where's Grandpa's letter, Mother? What, Essie? Where's that letter that came for Grandpa last week?
I don't know. I saw rodents on it.
Oh,
Oh, well, who was it from? Did you notice?
yes. It was on the outside.
Oh. Well, who was it from?
United States government.
Government. Ugh, wonder what they want.
There was another one from them, too. And a few more from the same people.
Look, if any more come, Essie, please give them to me.
Oh, yes, Grandpa.
I think I might go to Westchester tomorrow and do a little snake hunting.
God is the state is God.
What? What was that? What?
God is the state is God.
Who says that?
Oh, Trotsky.
Oh, that's all right. Thought you said it.
Oh, no.
I'm right.
It makes for good printing material, you know. G-O-D space I-S space T-H-E space.
And so the beautiful princess returned to the palace and she kisses her mother, and her father, and her grandpa.
Hello, darling.
Hi, Grandpa. And what do you know? They turned into the Sycamore family. Surprise?
Oh, Alice, I like it.
Do you?
It's new, isn't it?
Nice and summery.
Where'd you get it?
Oh, I took a walk during my lunch hour.
Oh, you have been taking a lot of walks lately, and that is the second new dress this week.
I just like to brighten up the office once in a while. I'm known as the K. Francis of Kirby & Co. Well, what's new around here in the ways of plays, snakes, ballet dancing, or fireworks? Dad, I bet you've been down in that cellar all day?
Huh?
Uh-huh.
I'm going back to the war play, Alice.
Really, Mother?
Oh, Ed, play Alice that Beethoven thing you wrote. Yay! Oh, it's my song.
Oh, hey, you can get a letter now, all the way from Nicaragua for 2%.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My virginity is priceless to me.
Listen, people, listen, I'm not home for dinner. A young gentleman is calling for me.
Oh, really? Who is
I
it?
did everything possible to keep him from coming here, but he's calling for me.
Why don't you both stay for dinner?
No. I want him to take you in easy doses. So I've tried to prepare him a little, but don't make it any worse if you can help. So, Mother, I wouldn't read him any plays. And don't let any snakes bite him, Grandpa, because I like him. And I wouldn't do any dancing for him, Essie, because we're seeing the Monte Carlo ballet.
Can't do anything? Who is he? President of the United States?
No, he's the Vice President of Kirby & Co., Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr.
Oh, that's his son. Well, that explains all the new dresses.
And not being home in 3 weeks.
Sherlock Holmes.
Are you gonna marry him?
Oh, of course, tonight. Meanwhile, I have to go upstairs and put on my wedding dress.
Is he good looking?
Yes, in a word. Oh dear, what time is it?
I don't know.
Oh, I haven't gotten
Does anybody know what time it is?
Oh, Mr. DePinna might know.
Yeah.
Oh, it was 5:30 a couple of hours ago.
That's right.
I ought to know better than to ask you people.
Yeah, you should.
Mother, will you let me know the minute he comes, please?
Of course, Alice.
Yes, I know, but I mean the minute he comes?
Of course, Alice.
Well, be sure.
Well, what do you think of that?
She certainly seems to like him, if you ask me.
I should say so. She's got it bad.
If they get married, we'll do it right here in this room.
Oh, well, wait a minute, Penny. This is the first time he's ever called for the girl.
Yes, but you only called for me once, Paul.
Well, young people are different nowadays.
Oh, I don't know. Look at Ed and me. He came to dinner once and just stayed.
Well, anyway, I think it's wonderful. What do you think, Grandpa?
Eh, well, she certainly seems happy about it, eh?
He's probably crazy about her. He must be the one who's been taking her out every night of the week. Oh, that must be him, Grandpa. I'll get it. Remember what Alice said. Be very nice to him. Good evening. Welcome to our humble home.
How do you do?
I'm Penny Sycamore, Alice's mother, and this is her sister Essie Carmichael and her husband Ed and Grandpa and my husband Paul. Please, let me take your hat and make yourself at home.
I'm afraid he's making a mistake.
What?
My card?
Wilbur C. Henderson, Internal Revenue Department.
That's right.
Well, what can we do for you?
Does Mr. Martin Vanderhoff live here?
Oh, that's
Yes, sir. That is me.
Yes, well, Mr. Vanderhoff, the government would like to talk to you about a little matter of income tax.
Income tax.
Do you mind if I sit down?
Oh, you go ahead. Make yourself comfortable.
Thank you.
Mother, is that Mr. Kirby?
No, Alice dear, it's an Internal Revenue someone or other. Pardon me.
Sycamore, Mr. Sycamore. Oh, excuse me.
Well, what is it, Mr. Pinner?
Oh, these things ain't going off. Look.
Hey,
Here, Mr. DePinner.
Crazy lemon there.
Grandpa's busy.
Oh.
Pardon me.
All right, so, well, what can we do for you, eh?
We've written you several letters about this, but we have not had any reply.
Oh, Essie, honey, that's what the letters were.
Yeah, I told you they were from the government.
Yes, well, according to our records, Mr. Vanderhoff, you've never paid an income tax.
That's right.
Why not?
I don't believe in it.
Well, you own property, don't you?
I do.
And you receive a yearly income from it?
Yes, sir.
Of around $3,000 to $4,000.
Yeah, about that.
You've been receiving it for years.
1901, you want that exact date, eh?
Yes, well, the government is only concerned with the years 1914 on. You see, that's when the income tax started.
Well, what?
Well, it appears, Mr. Vanderhoff, that you owed the government 24 years back income tax.
Whoa, wait. You can't go back that far. That's outlaw.
And what's your name?
What difference does that make?
Ever filed an income tax return before?
No, sir.
Aha! What was your income last year?
$24.50, wasn't it, Essie?
Yes, sir.
If you please.
We're just gonna go back here.
Now, Mr. Vanderhoff, you know that there's quite a penalty for not paying your income tax.
Penalty?
Mr. Henderson, let me ask you a question, eh?
Go ahead.
Supposing I pay you this money, now I'm not saying I'm gonna, but for argument's sake, what do I get out of it?
How do you mean?
What's the government gonna give me? Hey, look, I walk into Macy's, I see something, I buy it, I see it. There it is. What's the government gonna give me?
Why, the government gives you everything. It protects you.
What from?
Well, invasion, foreigners might come over and take everything you have.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
If you didn't pay your income tax, they would. How do you think the government keeps up the Army and the Navy, huh? All those battleships?
Battleship? We haven't used battleships since the Spanish-American War. And what did we get out of that? Cuba. Then we gave that back. I mean, look, I don't mind spending it as long as it's something sensible.
Sensible? Well, what about Congress and the Supreme Courts and the presidents? We have to pay them, don't we?
Not with my money, no, sir.
Now listen here. I'm not here to argue with you. All I know is you haven't paid your income tax and you have to pay it.
They gotta show me.
We don't have to show you. I just told you. All those buildings in Washington and interstate commerce and the Constitution.
Well, the Constitution was paid for a long time ago in interstate commerce. Well, wow, what's interstate commerce?
There are 48 states, see?
Hey.
And without interstate commerce, nothing could go from one state to another state. You see?
Why? They got fences?
No,
or
they don't have
something?
fences. They have laws. My God, I've never seen anything like this before.
Well, look, I might pay you like $75 or something, but that's all it's worth.
You'll pay every cent of it like everybody else.
Essie, listen to this.
And let me tell you something else. You go to jail, but okay, you hear me? You'll go to jail. You're no better than anybody else, and the sooner you get out there, you're a dickhead, the better.
It's all right.
You hear that? Shit.
How's that, Effie?
Oh, it's fine, Ed.
What'd y'all think of that?
Well, he certainly was mad, wasn't he?
It's not all his fault. The whole thing is crazy nonsense.
Well, he forgot his hat.
Oh.
Hey, what size is that hat?
7 and an 8.
Oh.
Just right for me.
So who was that fellow anyway?
That must be him.
Better make sure this time.
Oh, I will. I'll make sure it's him. All right.
I'm in the section.
Is this Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr.?
Yes.
Oh, well, do come right in. Oh, we've been waiting for you, Mr. Kirby. Oh, I'm Penny Sycamore, Alice's mother, and this is her sister Essie, her husband Ed, my father Grandpa, and my husband Paul. Now, please do give me your hat and make yourself righted.
Thank you.
Is that Mr. Kirby, Mother?
Yes, it is, Alice, and he's lovely. Oh, do sit down.
Thank you. Oh, I hope I'm not keeping you from dinner.
What? No, not at all. Hey, you want a tomato?
No, thank you.
tomato. All right.
How about a piece of candy?
I made that.
Yes.
No, thanks.
Yes? Oh, Mr. DePinna. Mr. Kirby, I forgot to introduce you to Mr. DePinna.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Say, wasn't I reading about your father in the newspaper the other day? Didn't he get indicted or something?
Oh, hardly that. He just testified before the Securities Commission.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing crooked about it. In fact, Mr. Kirby, Alice was just telling us the other day what a lovely man your father is.
Well, I know Father couldn't get along without Alice. She knows more about the business than any of us.
You know, you're awfully young, Mr. Kirby, to be vice president of a big place like that.
Oh, you know what that means?
What?
Vice President?
What?
All I have is a desk with my name on it.
You mean you don't get any salary or anything?
Well, a little. More than I'm worth, I'm afraid.
You're just being modest.
This all sounds kind of dull to me. Wall Street, you like it?
Well, the hours are short, and I haven't been there very long.
Oh, you're just out of college.
Well, I knocked around for a while first. Just sort of had fun.
Oh, what'd you do? Did you travel? Or?
For a little while, then I went to Cambridge for a year.
Oh, England.
That's right.
Hey, did you ever see an English commencement? Well, what's one of them like?
Very impressive.
Oh, that's nice, eh?
Anyhow, now the fun's over, and I'm facing the world.
Oh, wow.
Well, you're off to a great start, Mr. Kirby, vice president, and a rich father.
Well, that's hardly my fault.
Well, I suppose you'll be wanting to settle down and get married.
No, wait a minute, Penny. I'm sure Mr. Kirby here knows his own mind.
I'm not making up his mind for him, Paul. Am I, Mr. Kirby?
Not at all, Mrs. Sycamore.
You see?
You mustn't rush him, Mother.
No, but he's bound to get married. We'd hate for the wrong girl to scoop him up. So pretty.
Oh, yeah,
We've been having a delightful little chat about love and marriage.
Oh dear. I'm sorry. I came down as fast as I could.
I didn't mind in the least.
Damn those flies in the kitchen! Miss Alice, you look beautiful! Where you going?
I'm going out, Reba.
Step in, hurry!
That must be Kalenkov.
You better go, Tony.
Grandpa, you take cream in your cornflakes out.
No, half and half, Donald.
Ah, my little Rubiska!
That is Kalenkov.
Good evening, everybody. Grandpa, I've just had a letter from Russia. The second 5-year plan is a failure.
I practiced today, Mr. Kalenkov.
Ah, my people.
Oh, I love when he calls me that.
If you'll excuse us, Mr. Kalenkov.
Oh, Miss Alice, never have I seen you look so magnificent.
Thank you, Mr. Kolenkoff. Tony, this is Mr. Kolenkoff, Essie's dancing teacher.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Well, if you'll pardon us, we're gonna go see the Monte Carlo ballet tonight.
The Monte Carlo ballet?
Yeah.
It stinks.
Oh, yes. Well, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye, sweetie.
Goodbye.
Take
I'm so
care
glad
of
to
the
have
night
met you all.
there.
Bye.
Monte Carlo ballet.
Isn't Mr. Kirby lovely?
I
Yes.
thought he was a perfectly nice fellow, didn't you?
And so good looking.
And such nice manners. Did you notice his manners, Paul?
Oh, I certainly did. I saw you were getting pretty personal with him.
Don't be silly. He's just a lovely young man. Oh, if they get married here, I think we'll put the altar right where the snakes are. What do you think, Grandpa?
Hey, I don't mind if the snakes don't mind. You okay?
Oh, no. They want to get married in a church. His family and everything.
Oh, yes,
They're rich.
Church wedding.
All right, everybody, quiet, everybody, quiet. Well, sir, here we are again. And we've all been getting along really nice lately, and we are certainly much obliged for that. Now, all we ask is that we just live our lives in our own sort of happy little sort of way. Of course, we would like to keep our health. But as far as anything else is concerned, we'll leave that up to you. So the second 5-year plan's a failure, huh, Kalenka?
Catastrophic. And wait until they try the third 5-year plan.
Of course, his family will want to be here. Can you imagine Alice marrying a Kirby?
Think of that. Isn't it
I'll
exciting?
play the wedding march on the piano.
Oh, what do we got for dinner? I'm starving.
I could watch them dance every night of the week. I think they're marvelous.
They are, aren't they? But of course, just walking inside a theater gives me a thrill.
Well, it's been so lovely, Tony. I hate to have it over.
Oh, is it over? Do I have to go right away?
Not if you don't want to.
I don't.
Would you like something to drink?
Wonderful.
I'll see what's in the icebox. Want to come along?
I'd follow you to the ends of the earth.
Oh, just the kitchen's enough.
Why, I like it. You've done it very simply, haven't you?
Yes, we didn't know whether to do it Empire or Neo-Grecian.
So you settled for Frigidaire.
Yes, it's so easy to live with. And lucky you're not hungry, Mr. K. An icebox full of cornflakes. Gives you a rough idea of the sycamores.
Of course. Why they make these bottle openers for sinker midgets and never give me all over my coat.
I'll take mine in a glass if you don't mind.
Here you are. Filling beaker.
Anyhow, it's cold.
Now, if you'll please be seated, I'd like to offer a toast.
We are seated.
Miss Sycamore, to you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirby. To you.
You know something?
What?
I wouldn't trade 1 minute of this evening for all the rice in China.
Really?
Cross my heart.
Is there much rice in China?
Terrific. Didn't you read the Gooder? Well, I suppose I ought to go.
Is it very late?
Very. I don't want to go.
I don't want you to.
All right. I won't.
Okay.
When do you take your vacation?
Last 2 weeks in August.
I think I'll take mine then too.
Really?
What are you going to do?
I don't know. I hadn't thought much about it.
Going away, do you think?
I might not. I like the city in the summertime.
I do too.
But you always go up to Maine, don't you?
Yes, but I would like the city in the summertime if... Oh, you know what I mean, Alice. I'd love if you were here.
It would be nice if you were here, Tony.
You know what you're saying, don't you?
What?
That you'd rather spend your summer with me than with anybody else.
Was I?
Well, if that's how you feel about the summer, how would you feel about the winter?
Yes, I'd like that too.
And then there's spring and autumn. If you could see your way clear about those, Miss Sycamore.
I might.
I guess that's the whole year. We haven't forgotten anything, have we?
No.
Well then.
Alice, is that it? You?
Why, Mr. Kirby! I had no idea. I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Not at all, Mrs. Sycamore.
No, Mother.
I just came to get one of my manuscripts. And then you can go right ahead. Where is it? Ah, here we are. Sex takes a holiday. Good night, Mr. Kirby.
Good night, Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, I think you can call me Penny. At least I hope so.
What was that?
It's all right, Tony. It's just father.
This time of night?
Any time of night. Any time of day.
You know, you're more beautiful, more adorable than anyone else in the whole world.
Don't, Tony.
What? Because your mother? All mothers are like that, Alice. Besides, Penny's a darling. You see, I'm even calling her Penny.
I don't mean that. Look, this is something I should have said a long time ago, but I didn't have the courage to.
Darling.
I let myself be swept away because I love you so.
Darling.
No, I want to make this clear. Look, you're of a whole different kind of people, whole different world, and I don't mean money or socially, that'd be too silly. But your family and mine, it wouldn't work, Tony. It wouldn't work.
All right, have it your way. She can't dance. That's why they pay her all that money, because she can't dance.
Well, I don't call it dancing what she does.
Oh, hello. How was the ballet?
It was fine, Essie.
Wonderful. Hello. Hi.
Look, Ed and me just saw Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. So, what do you people think? Do you think that she can dance, Mr. Kirby?
Why, yes, I always thought so.
What does she do, anyhow?
Why, she dances.
Okay, now look, Mr. Kirby, you're Fred Astaire, and I'm Ginger Rogers.
Essie, please.
I only want to use him for a minute. Now look, Mr. Kirby.
Essie, you're just as good as Ginger Rogers. We all agree.
You see, Ed?
Yeah. Come on, Essie. I think we're interrupting.
Oh no, they've been together all evening.
Good night, Mr. Kirby.
Good night, Mrs. Carmichael.
Good night, Alice.
Good night. Say, Essie, what did Grandpa say about having that baby?
Oh yeah. He said go right ahead.
You see, that's what it would be like.
Oh, that? I didn't mind that. Besides, it's not going to be with your family. It's just you and I.
No, it isn't. It's never quite like that. I love them, Tony. I love them deeply. Some people could break away, but I couldn't. And I know they do rather strange things, but they're gay and they're fun, and I don't know, there's a kind of nobility about them.
Darling, you talk about your family as if only you could understand them. That's not true. Why, every family's got curious little traits. What of it? My father raises orchids at $10,000 a bulb. Is that sensible? My mother believes in spiritualism. That's just as bad as your mother writing plays, isn't it?
Your mother believes in spiritualism because it's fashionable. And your father raises orchids because he can afford to. My mother writes plays because 8 years ago a typewriter was delivered here by mistake.
Darling, what of it?
And look at Grandpa. 35 years ago, he just quit business one day. He was going up to his office in the elevator and came right down again. He just stopped. He could have been a rich man, but he said it took too much time. So for 35 years, he's collected snakes and gone to circuses and commencements, and it never...
Hello there, children.
Good evening, Mr. Vanderhoff.
Hello, Grandpa.
Hey, what's the night like tonight, eh? Oh, looks like a nice summer evening.
It's lovely, Grandpa.
Well, if you two will excuse me, I got a date with the policeman on the corner.
A policeman?
Yeah, I've known him since he was a little boy. We got a standing date, 12:30 every evening. And you know something? He didn't always used to be a policeman. When he first graduated, he became a doctor.
Oh.
But one day he came to me and says, I don't want to be a doctor. I want to be a policeman. So I tell him, you go be that policeman. And that's what he did. Oh, geez. Okay. Let's clean that up in a minute. Hey, so, besides this, how do you like my hat? It's my new hat, huh?
Very nice, Mr. Van.
Ah, thank you. Government gave it to me. Government's gonna buy us a new glass.
Excuse me, I didn't know you folks was in here.
It's all right, Donald.
Oh, well, Reba was fixing for some candy and oh, there it is. Y'all didn't want it, did you?
No, Donald.
Thanks. Say, did you have a nice evening?
Yes, Donald.
Oh, a nice dinner?
Yes, Donald.
What's the ballad?
Yes, Donald!
That's nice.
Now do you see what I mean? Could you explain Donald to your father? Could you explain Grandpa? You couldn't, Tony. You just couldn't. I love you, but I love them too, and it's no use, Tony. It's no use.
Darling, you talk about your family as if only you could understand them. That's not true. Look, everyone's got a family.
But not like mine.
Darling, that doesn't stop people who love each other. Darling, won't you trust me and go on loving me and forget about everything else?
How can I?
Because nothing can keep us apart. You know that. You must know it. They want you to be happy, don't they? They must.
Of course they do, but they can't change, Tony. I wouldn't want them to change.
They won't have to change. They're charming, lovable people, just as they are. Everything will work out. You're worrying about something that may never come up.
Tony, am I?
All that matters right now is that we love each other. That's so, isn't it?
Yes.
Well done.
No, Tony.
Now, I'd like to see a little gaiety around here. Young gentlemen calling and, getting engaged and everything.
What do I say?
Well, first you thank the young man for getting engaged to you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirby, for getting engaged to me.
And then you tell him what it was that first took your girlish heart.
The back of your head.
What?
Uh-huh. It wasn't your charm, and it wasn't your money. It was the back of your head. I just liked it.
What happened when I turned around?
Oh, I got used to it after a while.
Oh, darling. You know, we're pretty lucky, aren't we?
I know, I am. I'm the luckiest girl in the world.
Well, not exactly unlucky myself. Oh, dear. Guess I ought to. Good night, darling. Until tomorrow.
Good night.
Isn't it wonderful you work in the same office? Otherwise, I'd be here all day.
Won't it be funny in that office tomorrow? Just seeing each other and acting as though nothing had happened.
Thank God I'm vice president. I can dictate to you all day. Dear Miss Sycamore, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Darling, you're such a fool.
Why don't we meet at the drugstore tomorrow morning? Before we go into the office, I'll have millions of things to say to you.
All right.
And then lunch. And then dinner tomorrow night?
Tony, what will people say?
Well, it's got to come out sometime. In fact, if you know a good housetop, I'd like to do a little shouting. Good night, Dad.
Good night.
Yes, sir, Mr. Penner, we did a fine night's work now, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, let's see. That's 500 Black Panthers, 300 willow trees, and 8 dozen junior kitty bombers.
Hey, not too bad, huh? Oh, hello, Alice. You just get in?
No, I've been home quite a while.
Oh, you have a nice evening?
I had a lovely evening, Father.
Say, I want you to check out this new red fire we made. Oh, Mrs. Penner, won't you hit the lights for me? I want Alice to get the full effect.
Here we go.
What?
Take a look at this red fire. Isn't it beautiful? See? What do you think?
Yes. Oh, Father, everything's beautiful. It's the most beautiful red fire in the world.
All right, I said to him, you can take your old job.
Well, I'm ready to read you the new play whenever you are, Miss Wellington.
Just a minute, dearie. Just a minute.
Well, I hope you don't mind me asking you this, Miss Wellington, but do you always drink so much when you're acting? I'm just asking.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up. Once a show opens, I never touch a drop. The minute I enter a stage door, the bottle gets put away until intermission.
You been on the stage a long time there, Miss Wellingtons?
All my life, I've been in everything. Ever see Peg of My Heart?
Yeah.
Me too. Great show. Hot night, ain't it?
Want me to open the window for you, Miss Wellington?
Nah, the hell with the weather. Say, he's cute.
Oh, that's really funny. Joking.
Well, I'm gonna go up to my room and get ready. That's where I thought we'd read the play. Up in my room. Up in my room.
All right, dearie, I'm ready. Snakes! When I see snakes, it's time to lay down.
Oh no, Miss Wellington, no! It's all right, Miss Wellington, wake up, Miss Wellington.
He's out with the light.
Better let her sleep it off.
Yeah.
Reba, Miss Wellington just passed out.
Do you think she'll be all right?
Yeah, but I don't think I'd give her your religious play, eh?
Well, I guess I'll just have to wait.
Hey, Penny, next time you meet an actress on the top of a bus, send her the play. Don't bring her here to read it, please.
Ed, I wish you'd stop printing and take the love dreams around for me. You gotta get back in time to play for me when Kalinkov comes tonight.
Oh, Kalinkov coming tonight?
Oh, yeah. Well, tomorrow night's his night, but I made him change it on account of Alice.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Big doings here tomorrow night, yeah?
So exciting. You know, I'm so nervous. It's like he's engaged to me and not Alice.
Oh, what do you think they'll be like? You know, his mother and father. Ed, what are you doing now?
Take a look at this mask I made last night. Guess who it is?
Oh, don't tell me, Ed.
Got it.
Helen of Troy.
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Say, you know, the nice thing about these Meccano sets, you can make them into practically anything. Why, just last week it was the Empire State Building.
Well, what is it this week?
The Queen Mary.
It hasn't got the right hat on.
What do you mean?
Mr. DePinna, do you mind checking the front of the house for me?
Why, what for?
Well, the past few days when I've been out delivering candy, I swear there's a man who's been following me.
Ed, you're crazy.
No, I'm not. He follows me and then he stands and watches the house.
Really? Mm-hmm. I'll take a look and see.
Well, I don't see what anybody would want to follow you for, Ed.
Well, there's been a lot of kidnappings lately, Grandpa.
Well, yeah, but not of Ed.
Well, there's nobody out there at all.
You're sure?
Positive. I just saw him walk away.
You see?
Oh, well, it could have been anybody walking along on the street. Woo! Oh, now would you hurry up and get back?
Right, all right.
Say, you want to go down now, Mr. Sycamore, and finish packing the fireworks?
Yeah, I gotta take that stuff up to Mount Vernon in the morning.
Mother, may I borrow some paper? I'm making a list out for Reba tomorrow night.
Yes, of course.
Why, what's happened to your actress friend? Is she giving a performance?
Oh no, she's not acting. She's really drunk.
Essie,
Yeah?
you're gonna give Reba the kitchen all day tomorrow because she'll need it.
Oh, yes, of course, Alice. I'm gonna start on some love dreams now, so I'll be way ahead.
Thanks, dear.
Okay.
Mother, I'm gonna be home at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Will you have everything down to the cellar by then? The typewriter and the piano and the printing press
And
the
Miss Wellington.
and Miss Wellington. That will give me enough time to arrange the table and fix the flowers.
You know, the Kirbys are going to get the wrong impression of this house.
You'll do all that, won't you, Mother?
Yes, Alice, dear.
Great. And I think we better have cocktails ready by 7:15 in case they happen to come a little early. I wonder if I ought to let Reba do the cooking. What do you think, Grandpa?
Alice, honey, I wouldn't worry. From what I've seen of the boy, I'm sure the Kirbys are very nice people. If everything isn't so elaborate tomorrow night, that's all right, too.
Dear, I'm not trying to impress them or pretend we're anything we aren't. I just want everything to go off well.
There's no reason it shouldn't, honey.
We're all going to do everything we can to make it a nice party, Alice.
Oh, my darlings, you're the most wonderful family in the world, and I'm the happiest girl in the world. Why, I didn't know anyone could be so happy. This past week has been like floating. He's so wonderful, Grandpa. Just seeing him, you don't know what it does to me.
Just seeing him? Just seeing him, hey? Just seeing him for lunch. Just seeing him for dinner. Till 4 o'clock in the morning. Then 9 o'clock the next morning, you go to the office, there he is. Just seeing him, eh?
I don't care. I'm in love. Reba. Reba!
Nice to see her so happy, huh?
Yes, I remember when I was engaged to Paul. How happy I was, and you know I still feel that way.
Nice to see Ed and Essie so happy, too.
Yes, and Donald and Reba, even though they're not married. Say, do you think Mr. DePinna will ever marry anyone?
Gee, I don't... Hey, there's always Miss Wellington.
I do wish she'd wake up. We're not going to be able to read my play if you don't wake up.
Oh, Mrs. Sycamore, look what I found. Remember?
Yes! It's my portrait of you as the discus thrower. Ha! Remember, Grandpa?
Yeah, I remember. Say, you've gotten a little bushy tail since then, huh, DePinnis?
Yeah, I suppose it is time for a shave and a haircut.
Well, it has been an awfully long time. I started painting that right before I stopped painting altogether. Say, 8 years ago.
Too bad you never finished it, Mrs. Sycamore.
Well, I always meant to, Mr. DePinna, but I started writing my plays, and I never painted again.
Oh, it's a good thing, too. I was gonna have to strip next, eh?
My goodness, who would have thought that day I came here to deliver the ice that I was gonna end up staying for 8 years?
You know, the milkman stayed 5 years here just ahead of you.
Say, whatever happened to him anyway? Where'd he go?
Oh, he didn't go anywhere. He died.
Oh.
He was a lovely man. Remember the funeral, Grandpa? But it was hard to get a death certificate since we never knew what his name was.
What was the name we ended up giving him again?
Martin Vanderhoff. We gave him your name, Grandpa.
That's right, yeah, I remember.
And it's a good thing, too. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gotten all those lovely flowers.
Hey, didn't do me any harm either. I don't get any mail anymore, and I haven't received a phone call from that day to this.
It really was a wonderful idea.
I do wish you'd finish it sometime, Mrs. Sycamore. I'd kind of like to have it.
Really, Mr. DePinna? Well, I'll get some work done on it right tonight.
Say, will you?
Yeah, well, she's not gonna wake up anyhow, so the easel and costume are still down in the basement, aren't they?
I think so.
All right, you go and I'll find my palette and brushes.
Rubiska! My little Rubiska!
Yes, sir, Mr. Kalenkov.
Good evening, Mr. Kolikoff.
Madam Sycamore, I greet you.
Essie's in the kitchen.
Grandpa, tell me, what am I to do with Rubiska? I keep telling her she would make a remarkable toe dancer. But she leaves it me only.
No, Mr. Kalenkov. I can't get up on my toes. I got corns.
Rubiska, you could wear diamonds. What is that?
Oh, it's a picture of Mr. DePinna. Penny painted it.
It stinks.
I know. Hey, what do you think of this?
What is that?
Oh, it's an actress friend of Penny's.
She is drunk, no?
She is drunk, yes. Hey, how you doing there, Kalenkov, eh?
Magnificent. Life, it is chasing around inside of me like a squirrel.
Tis, huh? So, you hear from your friend from Moscow over there?
Oh, yes. He just received letter today. I sent for you this day.
Ah, thanks, Kalenkov, thanks.
Yes, they have sent him to Siberia.
Siberia? Well, how's it like that, eh?
He has escaped. He's gone back to Moscow. He will get them if they do not get him yet. Grandpa, the Soviet government. I could take the whole Soviet government and...
Oh, I'm sorry I'm late, Mr. Kalenkov. I'll get into my dancing clothes right away.
Absolutely, you will really work tonight, my Pavlov. Tonight, we will take something new.
Yeah!
Hey, Kalenkov, is he making any progress or anything?
Confidentially, she stinks.
Oh, well, at least she's having fun, right?
You
Sure did take a reaper, Mr. Cohen. I'm just laughing her head off in there. Ah, she's a great woman, Donald, a great woman. Tell me, Donald, what do you think of the Soviet government? The what, Mr. Cohen? I withdraw the question. What do you think of this government? Oh, I like it fine. I'm on relief, you know. Oh, and you like that? Oh, yes, it's fine. Well, the only thing is you gotta go down to the place every week to get it, and sometimes you gotta stand in line pretty near half an hour. Now, the government ought to be run better than that, don't you think, Grandpa?
Now, government, they ought to stop sending me these letters. They want me at the United States Marshal's office tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. Look at 8. Look at 8.
Ah, income tax. They've got you now, Grandpa.
Yeah, they want me to pay him lots of money so I can keep Donald on release.
Oh, you don't say, Grandpa. I mean, you gonna be paying from now on.
Well, that's what they want.
You mean I could come right here and get us here standing in that line?
No, Donald. You're gonna have to waste a full half hour of your week.
Well, I don't like it. It breaks up my week. If he had been in Russia when the revolution happened, then he would have stood in line, a bread line. Ah, Grandpa, what has happened to Russia? I tell you, yesterday I was at Child's Restaurant in Times Square, and my waitress was the Grand Duchess, Olga Katrina. She was a cousin of the Tsar. Now she is serving me baked beans. Oh, it breaks my heart, Grandpa. Crazy world.
Oh, the world's not so crazy, Kalenkov. It's the people in it. Life's pretty simple if you just relax a bit.
How can anybody relax in times like these?
Well, you'll see, that's my point. There wouldn't be times like these if people relaxed. You know, life's pretty beautiful if you just let it come to you, but people tend to forget that. I mean, I know I did. God, I used to be one of them, you know, clawing, biting, scratching my way to the top. One day it just struck me. I wasn't having any fun.
So you did what?
I just relaxed. 35 years ago that was. And I have been a happy man ever since.
Good evening, Mr. Kolikoff.
Oh, Miss Alice, I have not had a chance to present to you my congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Kolikoff.
May you be very happy and have many babies. That is my wish for you.
That's quite the thought.
Ah, love, Grandpa. Love is what is left in this world, huh?
Yeah, and there's plenty of it.
And soon Stalin will take that away, too.
Indeed.
Nice getting into my art things again. How do I look, Grandpa?
Gorgeous, yeah, gorgeous, yeah.
Madam Sycamore, you are a breath of Perry. Oh, I didn't know you was working for the WPA.
No, Donald. I used to paint all the time.
It happened again. There was a fellow following me everywhere I went.
That's nonsense, Ed. It's all in your imagination.
No, it's not. He follows me every time I go out to deliver candy.
Oh, maybe he wants some candy, eh?
Well, it's all right for you to laugh, Grandpa, but he keeps following me.
You do not know what following is. In Russia, everybody is followed. I was followed right out of Russia.
Oh, of course. It's all in your imagination.
Oh, maybe.
Where do you want
Oh, it's the burning of my eyes.
Jazz fingers, jazz. Mr. DePinna, has something happened to your figure in the last few years?
No, I don't think it's changed.
More nipple.
What?
Miss Wellington! Yes? I'm sorry I'm late, Mr. Kalekov! I couldn't find my slippers.
It is all right. We have a hot knife for it, my pants. Pavlova, but art is only achieved through perspiration.
Perspiration!
Did you hear that, Grandpa? Art is only achieved through perspiration.
Yeah. But it helps if you have a little talent with it, you know.
All right, you ready?
Yeah!
We begin.
Okay. Oh, it's my song.
Pirouette.
No pirouette. Still is the mic.
Pirouette.
I can't do it!
It has been 8 years now. Come on, you can do this now. Pirouette.
I did it! Yeah! I love it.
Now we unbridge.
I'm trying like a cat.
Yes, unbridge.
Okay. Meow!
No, Grandpa, you cannot relax with Stalin in Russia. The Tsar relaxed, and look what happened to him.
He was late.
Mr. Kalaikov! Mr. Kalaikov!
If the Tsar had not relaxed, the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina would not be serving baked beans today.
Mr. Kalaikov!
Okay.
Suck it in!
We go back to the piano. I show you a little trick, yes?
Free?
Freer with your
Up.
hands.
Up.
Really
Fly. That way. Turn your head that way.
music, it must be free too, yes? Very good, very good.
Up. Chihuahua.
Miss Sycamore?
Miss Sycamore!
What, Reba? This is why we don't pay her either.
How you doing? Are we too early? Oh, no, come right in. We're glad to see you.
Yes! We thought it was gonna be tomorrow night!
What? No, don't trouble yourself. Just make yourself at home.
Tony, how could you possibly?
I don't know. I thought it was.
Tony, this is most embarrassing.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This is Alice's mother, Penny Sycamore.
Good evening.
Here's her sister Essie, her husband Ed. Over here is Kalinka.
How do you do?
Donald over there. That's Mr. DePinner.
Oh, don't mind my costume. I'll take it right now.
Well, why don't you go downstairs, tell Paul that Mr. and Mrs. Kirby are here.
Please, and both of you put pants on. Thank you.
Excuse me.
I'll go tell Alice that you're here. Excuse me. Alice! We have a surprise for you. Please come quickly.
May I take your wrap there, Mrs. Kirby?
Well, if you're absolutely certain that...
Don't worry about the stakes. They're harmless. Hey, Doc, take them in the
We're just so used to having them around the house. I'm so sorry. It bothered me. It's just that snakes happen to me.
I feel very uncomfortable about this, Tony. How could you have done such a thing?
I don't know. I thought it was tonight.
Very careless of you. Very.
Anybody can get mixed up, Mr. Kirby.
Well, why don't we see something about dinner for them? You know, they came for dinner, you know.
It's no bother. We're really not very...
No, it's no bother at all. Tell Donald to go down to the A&P and get half a dozen bottles of beer and some canned salmon. Do you like canned salmon, Mr. Kirby?
Don't trouble yourself, Mrs. Sycamore. I have a little indigestion anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about you, Mrs. Kirby? Do you like canned salmon?
Very fond of it.
You can have frankfurters if you'd rather.
Either one will do.
Okay.
Oh.
Hi, frankfurters, Campbell salmon, canned corn. You got it?
Yep.
Well, the A&P is just around the corner, and frankfurters only take a minute to boil, so...
Hey, Paul, the Mr. Sycamore, Mr. and Mrs. Kirby.
You do. Forgive me for not, being very well apparent.
Well, this is Mr. Sycamore's busiest time of the year. You see, every year before the 4th of July, he makes lots and lots of fireworks with Alice.
Darling, I'm the most delighted person in the world. I thought it was tonight.
Why, Tony, I can't imagine why. I'm sorry. Have you all met each other?
Yeah. We did.
How do you do, Alice?
How do you do, Mrs. Kirby? I'm afraid I'm not very presentable.
Darling, you look lovely.
Of course she does. I don't let this upset you, my dear. We've just managed to meet each other one night sooner, that's all.
But I was planning such a nice party tomorrow night.
Well, then we'll just have to come again tomorrow night.
There you are, Alice. Am I forgiven?
I guess so. We'd better see about getting you some dinner.
Oh, not to worry, Alice. It's all been taken care of. It's all been attended to.
Yes, Mother, but what did you send out for? Because Mr. Kirby
It's all
suffers
right,
from
it's all
indigestion
right.
and he can only eat certain things.
Well, I asked him what he wanted, Alice. I asked him.
Nothing serious, just because I have a little indigestion.
Perhaps it is not indigestion at all. Perhaps you have stomach ulcers.
Don't be absurd, Mr. Kolenkov.
No, hey, don't listen to Kalenkov over there. He's a Russian. You know, Russians, they tend to look on the dark side.
Yes, I am a Russian, but I had a friend, a Russian, who died from stomach ulcers.
Really, I don't think
Oh,
I have.
please, Mr. Kolenkov. Mr. Kirby has indigestion, and that's all.
All right, let him wait.
Why don't you make yourself comfortable, huh?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
So, mind you tell us about the business. Do you think we're pretty much out of the depression there?
Well, yes, I suppose so, but it
But you
does
think things are
depend on a lot of
improving? They're improving?
Oh, yes. But broadly speaking, of course. In fact, industry output is up to 64% of full capacity, as opposed to 82% back in 1925. Of course, in
There was a young lady from
1929.
Wheeling. She had this incredible feeling. She put some Darjeeling in her tea and she said,
Oh, hey. Yeah, I bet that seemed a little, a little crazy to you peoples over there, but nothing to worry about. This is an actress friend of Penny's, came for dinner, overcome by the heat,
Yes, actors. Some people feel the heat more than others, I'll go make sure she's all right. Excuse me.
It is awfully hot, but you usually escape all this hot weather, don't you, Mrs. Kirby? Up in Maine?
As a rule, but I had to come down this week, however, for the flower show.
Mother wouldn't miss that for the world. That blue ribbon is the high spot of her year.
I won a blue ribbon at a flower show once for raising onions. You remember that, Alice?
That was a garden show, Essie.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she's out. So, has Donald come back yet?
No, he hasn't.
You people must be starved.
No, it's quite all right. Oh, hello. What's this? I hadn't realized there were any little children in the house.
Oh, no, that's mine.
Well, there, I see. Every man should have his hobby, or do you use it as a model for some kind?
No, I just play with it.
Oh, I see. Yes, okay.
Maybe you'd be better off if you had a hobby like that, Dad, instead of raising orchids.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes, Mr. Kirby, please tell us all about your orchids. They can take up to 6 years to blossom, don't they? Think of that.
Actually, some even take longer than that. I've been waiting for one particular bulb for almost 10 years now.
I've been waiting on an orchid.
And during that time, they require the most scrupulous care. There was one I was very fond of.
Donald! There you are, Donald! Did you get everything?
Oh, yes, only they didn't have no Frankfurter, so I got bigger picture.
Oh, never mind that, Donald. Just bring everything straight into the kitchen. Mr. Kirby, please keep telling them all about your orchids. I know they'd love to hear it. And excuse me.
Yeah, so orchids is kind of an expensive hobby, huh?
Well, yes, but I believe that if a hobby gives one sufficient pleasure, then you shouldn't consider it expensive.
That's true. That's very true.
Actually, I really need it to alleviate the daily nerve strain. After a week on Wall Street, I'd go crazy if I didn't have something like that. A lot of men I know have yachts just for that very reason.
Then why not just give up Wall Street?
How's that?
Joking. Just joking.
Well, I think it's necessary for everyone to have a hobby. Of course, to me, it's more than a hobby. My great solace is spiritualism.
Oh, Mrs. Kirby, everybody knows that spiritualism is fake.
Yeah. Well, to me, Mrs. Sycamore, spiritualism, well, I'd rather not discuss it.
Now remember, Penny, you have one or two hobbies of your own.
Yes, but not silly ones.
Look, I don't think the important thing is what the hobby is. I think the important thing is just to have a hobby.
Yes, to be ideal, a hobby it must strengthen your body as well as your mind.
Yeah.
Why, the Romans, they were a great people. And why was that? What was their hobby? Wrestling. In wrestling, you must think quick with your mind and act quick with your body.
Yes, but I don't think that wrestling is a very practical hobby for most of us, Mr. Kolenkov. I, for one, would probably not make a very good showing as a wrestler.
Oh, that is ridiculous, Mr. Kirby. You are built for it. Here, look, I show you.
Mr. Kirby, are you hurt?
Mr. Kirby, where'd he go? What happened to Kirby? What the heck?
Where are my glasses?
Here they are, Mr. Kirby. Oh, Mr. Kirby, they're broken.
Oh, well, of course, the next time you wrestle, Mr. Kirby, you will not be wearing glasses, right?
I do not intend to wrestle again, Mr. Kolenkov.
Better sit down, Father.
Mr. Kolenkov, how could you do such a thing? Why didn't anybody stop him?
Well, I'm sorry, but if you don't mind, I think we should be going.
Mother!
Please don't go, Mrs. Kirby. Please. Please, Mr. Kirby, I've ordered some scrambled eggs and some plain salad. Please don't go.
I'm sorry. Please, I apologize.
I can't tell you how sorry I am.
It's quite all right, yes.
Of course it is. It's all right, Alice. We're not going.
Well, that was exciting for a minute, wasn't it?
So anyway, the orchids, you raise many varieties?
Well, I've quite forgotten about my orchids right now, Mr.
I'm
Vanderhoff.
awfully sorry, Mr. Kirby.
What did I do? They were so terrible. I threw him on the floor.
Please,
Did
Mr.
it kill him?
I'm sure dinner will be out any minute.
Say, Mr. Kirby, you want some candy while you wait? I got some freshly made.
No, thank you. My doctor doesn't allow me to have candy.
Oh, but these are nothing, Mr. Kirby. Just marshmallow and coconut and fudge.
Don't, Essie.
Don't, Essie.
Miss Alice.
Excuse me. Is it Reba?
The eggs don't fall down the same.
Make some more, quick. Send Donald over some. And tell her to hurry. There's been a slight delay, but everything should be ready in just a minute. Whoosh.
I've certainly put you people through a lot of trouble with my stupidity.
No, Tony, not at all. Not at all.
Look, why don't we play a game while we're waiting?
That'd be fine.
Mother, I don't think Mr. and Mrs. Kirby want to play a game.
No, I know a wonderful trick with a glass of water.
No. I know a game that the Kirby's will love, and it's perfectly harmless.
Please, Mother.
I'm not very good at games, Mrs. Sycamore.
Mr. Kirby, any fool can play this game. All you do is write your name down on a piece of paper. Here you go, Mr. Kirby. And here's yours, Mrs. Kirby.
Mother, what is this game?
Well, I used to play it all the time in school. It's called Forget Me Not. Ooh. It's great. Oh, give him one he can write with. My goodness. Mr. Kirby, so used to Alice doing it all for you. I'm sorry. It's called Forget Me maybe not. And I say any 5 words at all that come to my mind, and you write down the first word that comes to your mind. For instance, if I say grass, you might say green. Or if I say table, you might say chair. It shows the reactions people have to different things. It's quite simple, Mr. Kirby.
Come on, Father, be a sport.
All right, I will be very happy to play it, yes.
I knew you'd want to play it. All right, ready? First word is potatoes. Potatoes. Second word, bathroom.
Mother.
Bathroom. Third word is lust.
Mother, this isn't exactly what you said it would be.
Oh, I don't know. It seems to me to be a perfectly fair word.
Mother, it's not all right. I think it's all right, Alice. Now stop interrupting the game.
Could I have that word again, Mrs. Sycamore?
Yes, Mr. Kirby. It's lust.
I've got it, yes.
Oh, this is a hell of a game.
Hush, Grandpa. The next word is honeymoon. Stop, Essie. All right. And the last word, sex.
Mother!
Everybody got sex?
God, I hope so.
All right. Now, I'll take your papers. Give me your paper, Mr. Kirby. And yours, Mrs. Kirby.
All right, so now what happens, eh?
Oh, it's the best part. I read off the reactions. Ooh.
I see it is a very interesting game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I knew you'd like it. You know, I'll start with your paper, Mr. Kirby. This is Mr. Kirby's paper. Oh. All right. Potatoes, steak.
Oh, okay.
Very good, Mr. Kirby.
I just happened to think of it.
It's lovely. All right. Bathroom, toothpaste. Lust, unlawful.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll go with it. We'll go with it. Honeymoon, trip. Oh.
That's fair.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the last one, sex, male.
Wow, because
Of course you are, Mr. Kirby. You are male.
Thank you. It's more than a game, you know. It's sort of an experiment in psychology, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It really shows how your mind works. Let's see how Mrs. Kirby's mind works.
Hey.
Ready? Oh, this is Mrs. Kirby's paper. Okay. Potatoes, starch. Oh, I see what you did there, Mrs. Kirby. Bathroom, Mr. Kirby.
What's that?
Bathroom, Mr. Kirby.
I'm sorry, I don't follow that, my dear.
Well, you do spend a great deal of time in there, bathing and shaving. Well, you do take a long time.
Well, indeed, I hadn't realized I was being so selfish in the matter. Do go on, Mrs. Sycamore.
I think it's a really silly game and we have to stop it.
Yes.
No, please go on.
Lust, human.
Human?
Have you seen rabbits?
I don't agree. Lust is not a human emotion. It is depraved.
Well, it's what I meant, Anthony, is that lust is, after all, a human emotion.
Really, it's the most pointless game. Suppose we play 20 questions.
No. I find it a very interesting game, Mrs. Sycamore. Please go on. What was the next word?
Honeymoon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What was her response?
Well, honeymoon, dull.
Dull? Did you say dull?
Well, what I meant, Anthony, is that Hot Springs wasn't a very gay season. All those old people sitting on the couch all afternoon, and, well, nothing to do at night.
Well, that wasn't your reaction at the time, as I recall.
Father, this is only a game.
Yes, a very illuminating game. Please go on, Mrs. Sycamore.
Well, Mr. Kirby, this answer's all right. Sex, Wall Street.
Sex Wall Street?
Who's the
What does that mean?
Oh, I don't know, Anthony, nothing.
Well, it must have meant something, or you wouldn't have put it down.
It's the first thing that popped into my head, that's all.
Oh, but what does it mean, Sex Wall Street?
I don't know what it means, Anthony. It's just that you're always talking about Wall Street, even when... Oh, Alice, would you mind terrible if we didn't stay for dinner? And this game is giving me a headache.
I understand, Mrs. Kirby.
Yes, perhaps we should postpone the dinner, if you don't mind.
Oh, but you're coming tomorrow night.
Oh, no, we have an engagement tomorrow evening.
Yes, perhaps we should postpone the whole affair for a little while. You know, the heat and all.
I think we're being very ungracious. Of course, we'll stay to dinner tonight.
Tony, I have a very bad headache.
Yes, come, Tony. I'm sure everyone understands.
Well, I don't. I think we ought to stay.
No, Tony.
What?
We were fools, Tony. We think it would work. It won't work.
Honey.
No!
Mr. Kirby, I won't be back at the office tomorrow. I won't be back at all anymore.
Alice, what are you talking about?
I'm sorry to hear that, my dear. Very sorry. Are you ready, Miriam?
Yes, Anthony.
You mustn't.
Oh, I want it.
Well, it's been very nice to have met you all.
Yes. Yes.
Are you coming, Tony?
No, Father, I'm not.
Oh, well, I see. Well, your mother and I will wait for you at home. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night.
Stay right where you are. What is this, everybody? What is the meaning of this? Don't move.
Yeah, don't move.
I demand an explanation.
Yeah.
Well, what is all this?
Keep your mouth shut, you.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
It's not him.
Hey, what are you doing?
Grandpa, what is it?
It is an outrage.
What did you do?
Shut up.
Yeah, shut up.
What's your name?
Edward Carmichael. I haven't done anything.
You haven't, huh?
This seems all rather high-handed to me. Well, what's this all about?
Department of Justice.
What? Damon! Ed, what have you done?
I haven't done anything. Well, what's this all about, officer?
Yeah.
That door lead to the cellar?
Yeah?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Mac,
Yes, sir.
take a look around. See what you find.
Yes, sir.
I haven't done anything, officer.
Come here, you.
What the heck? See, what's...
You ever see these before?
They're my circulars.
You print this stuff, eh?
Yes.
Then you put it into boxes of candy to get them into people's homes.
The love dreams.
Yes, but I didn't mean anything by them.
You didn't, huh?
Yeah. He's harmless.
Dynamite the Capitol.
Well, that one's kind of a metaphor.
Metaphor. Yeah.
Dynamite the White House.
There are a lot of White Houses.
Lots of White Houses.
Dynamite the Supreme Court.
Okay, I'll admit that one's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, it is.
God is the state.
Oh my God.
The state is God.
Communism.
I didn't mean anything by them. I just like to print things, don't I, Grandpa?
Yeah, the government's in no danger, Ed. He likes to print things. It's
This is ridiculous.
The boy don't print anything.
You guys stay here.
Let me get my pipe.
You're right, boss. They got enough gunpowder down there to blow up the whole city.
We only use that for
Keep
fireworks.
quiet.
Everybody in this house is under arrest.
You better let me get my pipe. I left it on the big box right behind.
Shut up, everybody.
It seems to me.
Shut up. Who's that?
That's my mother.
The fireworks!
Line up, you people. Line up, everybody. Line
Well, parents in the West Side called this morning. Now, after spending the night in jail, the defendants, 13 in all, were summoned before Judge Callahan and given suspended sentences for manufacturing fireworks without a permit.
Yeah, well, I was stuck in a cell with a strip teaser from a burlesque show.
Well, I was in the cell with Mr. Kirby, and he was mad.
Well, Miss Kirby and the strip teaser were fighting all night.
Well, a whole lot about Mr. Kirby here. Anthony W. Kirby had a Kirby & Co., 62 Wall Street, was among those apprehended at the scene. Declared he was in no way interested in the manufacture of fireworks, but refused to state why he was at the premises at the time. Now, Mr. Kirby's head of the Union Club, the Yacht Club, the Harvard Club, and the National Geographic Society. He certainly is a joiner.
All them white men are like elks or something. Why are you wearing your hat?
I suppose Mr. Tony ain't ever gonna marry Miss Alice.
No, son, it's too bad too. Miss Alice sure loves that boy.
You know, it's how those white folks always get themselves in trouble.
Yes, sir. I'm glad I'm covered.
Me too.
Now, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all that food in the kitchen. We're not having a party tonight, that's for sure.
Well, ain't we gonna eat it anyhow?
Well, I'm gonna cook it, but they ain't gonna be having an appetite.
Well, I'm hungry.
Well, they ain't, cause they all broke up about Miss Alice.
What's she going away for? Where's she going?
I don't know, maybe someplace. All I know is she going. I know Miss Alice when she get that look in her eye. And if you so hungry, why don't you tell Miss Wellington to go cook you something?
She called me cute one time.
One time, watch.
Not even a balloon left. Look.
How's your hand, Mr. The Peanut? Better?
Oh, yeah, it's better. Oh, is there any olive oil out there?
In the salad bowl.
Thanks.
She call you cute again. Watch what's going on.
She's going, and nothing I could say could change her mind.
Do you know how long Miss Alice gonna be away, Miss Sycamore?
No, she wouldn't tell me anything, Reba.
My, it sure is gonna be lonesome around here without her.
Yes, obviously. I'm just gonna get some work done, and I'll be fine. It'll take my mind right off of it.
Well, I won't bother you then, Mr. Sycamore.
Maybe you could get some work done, too.
No, it's just not. She's going, Penny.
Yes, I know.
Oh, now, Penny.
No. I can't help it, Paul. I can't help it. I think somehow it's all our fault.
It's mine more than yours. All these years I've been going about enjoying myself. Maybe I should have been thinking more about Alice.
What? Don't say that, Paul. You've been a wonderful father. And an okay husband, too.
No, I haven't. I was thinking maybe I should have been an architect. I don't know, something Alice could have been proud of. I felt that all last night looking at Mr. Kirby.
But we've been so happy, Paul.
I know, and I used to think that was enough. But now, I'm all kinds of mixed up.
What time is she going?
Pretty soon. Train leaves at 7:30.
If only she'd talk to Tony. Where's Tony?
I don't know, I suppose out walking around the block again? Either way, it won't help. She won't talk to him.
Well, maybe he can catch her as she's leaving.
You know that won't help, Penny.
Oh, Grandpa.
Honey, leave the girl alone.
But Grandpa, it's all so terrible.
I know, but look, you can only take so much Adirondacks and you come home. And there is a bright side, you know.
Well, how do you mean by that?
Mr. Kirby getting to the back of that patrol wagon for one. Oh, jeez, and the look on his face when him and Donald had to take a bath together. I'll never forget that if I live to be 100. And I warn you people, I intend to. Especially with stuff like that going on, eh?
True.
Well, it was worse than Mrs. Kirby. When the matron stripped her, there was a burlesque dancer in there, and she kept singing a strip song while she was taking off her clothes.
Oh, jeez. The Kirbys are gonna really be dull at Bar Harbor this year. Alice, honey, honey, you need any help?
No thanks, Grandpa. Just going to press these.
I'll bring the big bag down as soon as you're ready, Alice.
Thank you.
You want to bring along some candy for the train, Alice?
No thanks, Essie.
Well, Alice, you don't have to go anywhere. You can be just alone here as you would be anywhere else.
Penny,
We'll just
Penny,
keep you up in your room and you
No, Mother, I want to be by myself, away from everyone.
What?
I love you all. You know that. I have to go away for a little while. I'll be all right. Father, did you phone for a cab?
No? I didn't know you wanted one.
I told Mr. DePinna to tell you, Paul. Didn't he tell you?
Oh, he told me, but I forgot.
Oh, I wish I didn't live in a family that always forgot everything, that behaved the way other people's families do. I am sick of cornflakes and of Donald and of everything. Why can't we be like other families? Roast beef and 2 green vegetables and doilies on the table, and please you can bring your friends with us.
Oh, well, I'll see if I can do anything. Alice, don't cry, your mascara's gonna run!
His family's so rich they were gonna pay our mortgage.
No, that doesn't matter.
Tony! She's in the kitchen. Talk to her.
Alice, won't you listen to me, please?
Tony, it's no use.
Alice, you're not being fair. At least let me talk to you.
Where'd they go?
Upstairs.
Oh, she walked right out the minute that he came in.
Knocked the olive oil right out of my hand. I'm gonna smell kind of fishy.
How's your hand, DePinna? You feeling any better?
Oh yeah, it's better.
Everything burnt up, huh? Downstairs?
Everything. And my Roman costume too.
See? Told you there was a bright side. What the heck am I gonna do about this back taxes?
What are you gonna do about that anyway, Grandpa?
Well, actually, I did have a little idea about that. I mean, it's a little
What is
cuckoo
it?
nuts, but I...
Good evening, everybody. Forgive me, the door it was open.
Oh, no problem at all, Mr.
Yeah, come in, come in.
I don't think I can take a lesson today. I don't feel up to it.
Of course, you will excuse my coming. I understand you are upset.
Yes, yes. Well, you should stay to dinner anyway, Mr. Kollenkoff. We have all that food and somebody's gonna eat it.
I would be happy to, Madam Sycamore. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now, I wonder if I know you well enough to ask of you a great favor.
Of course you do.
You have heard me speak of my friend, the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina?
Yes.
Yes. She is a waitress at Times Square Child's Restaurant. So, I ask you, please, the Grand Duchess, you see, she has not had a good meal since before the Revolution.
Oh, gosh, she must be hungry then. Yeah.
And today it is Thursday, her day off. And also the anniversary of Peter the Great, a remarkable man.
Well, if you're saying you'd like us to have her for dinner too, we'd all be very honored.
Oh, yes!
Madam Sycamore, I thank you.
Oh, well, where is she?
Oh, she is out on the street. I will go and get her.
Oh, straighten up, Ed. Oh, come on, Eddie, straighten up your dress.
Hey, if stuff like this keeps happening, I want to live to 150.
Yeah.
May I present to you the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. Your Highness, may I present Madam Sycamore, Madam Carmichael, Grandpa, Mr. Carmichael, Mr. Sycamore, and Mr. DePinna.
All right, DePinna, that's enough, that's enough. Yeah.
Please do be seated, Your Highness.
Thank you, you're most kind.
Oh, you're very welcome, Your Highness. We're honored to have you here.
I am most happy to be here. Tammy, how soon is dinner?
Oh, any time at all, Your Highness, any minute.
I do not mean to be rude, but I must be back at the restaurant by 8 o'clock. I am substituting for another waitress.
I will make sure you are on time, Your Highness.
Thank you, Kollenkov.
You know, Highness, I think you waited on me and Childs once. The 72nd Street place.
No, that was my sister.
Ah, the Grand Duchess Natasha.
Yes, sir. I work in Times Square.
Oh, hey, there are quite a lot of your people over here now, huh?
Oh, yes, many. My uncle, the Grand Duke Sergei. He works at Macy's, a very nice man. He is an elevator man. And my cousin, Prince Alexei, he does not speak to the rest of us because he works at Teddy Carnegie in the ladies' underwear section.
When he was selling hot dogs at Coney Island, he would talk to you.
Oh, Kolikoff, our time is coming. My uncle, they have promised to make floor walker, and it is only a matter of time before I am transferred to the Fifth Avenue's Child, and from there, it is only a step to Sheriff's. And then we will see what Prince Alexei has to say.
I think you got him.
You're telling me.
Your Highness, did you know the Tsar? Personally, I mean.
Of course. He was my cousin. It was terrible what happened to him, but perhaps it was for the best. I don't know why he could get the job now.
Pravda, that is true.
And poor relations are poor relations. It is the same in every family. My cousin, the King of Sweden, he used to send money order to us for about 10 years. And then one day he said to me, I just cannot go on. And that times are tough. And I do not blame him.
Yes, of course. Well, if you'll excuse me, Your Highness.
Tell me, Grand Duchess, is it true what they say about Rasputin?
Everybody wants to know about Rasputin. Yes, my dear sir, it is true. And how?
You don't say.
Your Highness, we must watch the time.
Oh, yes, I must not be late. My manager, he hates me. He's a communist.
Well, let's see if we can hurry it along. Essie, why don't you go ask Reba if she needs help in the kitchen?
Oh, I will help. I love to cook.
What? Oh, but Your Highness, it's your day off.
Oh, I do not mind. I love to cook. It's okay. Oh, tell me, what is your kitchen?
Oh, well, it's right through there, but you're our guest of honor, Your Highness.
It's okay. I do not mind. Kolikoff, come. If they have pot cheese and sour cream, I will make princes.
Princes, come, my Pavlova. We will show you something.
Say, that Duchess really is something, isn't she?
Yes.
Hey, Duchess, can I help?
Gee, she's got a wonderful face for a mask, doesn't she?
Yes, so lovely, especially for a Grand Duchess.
You know, it's wonderful what people can go through and still keep kind of gay, too, you know.
Yes, she helped to take my mind off of it for a moment. Oh, Alice.
Well, I better go call that cab for Alice.
Oh, no, Paul, don't call the cab. Maybe Tony's convinced her to stay.
Ed, will you go up and bring my bag down?
Don't you do that.
Ed, please.
All right, Ed. Bring it down.
Okay.
You know, you've got the stubbornest daughter in all 48 states.
Don't I know it?
Oh, that must be the cab.
Oh, if it is, that's a hell of a service.
Hello, Alice. Is Tony here?
Yes, he is. Come right in, Mr. Kirby.
Good evening.
How do you do? How do you do?
Sorry for intruding, but Tony, I'd like you to come home with me. Your mother is very upset.
Very well, Father. Bye, Alice.
Goodbye, Tony.
I need hardly say that this is as painful for Mrs. Kirby and myself as it is for the rest of you people. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm sure you understand.
Well, yes, but in a way, no. Look, Mr. Kirby, I'm not the type of person
To meddle in other people's lives, but I don't think these kids have say as much sense as you're right.
Grandpa, will you please not do this?
I'm just talking to Mr. Kirby. A cat can talk to a king, can't he?
Oh, Alice, why don't you let me help you with that?
No thanks, Mother.
You know, you have plenty of time before the train leaves, Alice.
Yes. Will you send the cab to 761 right away, please? That's right. Thank you.
Oh, Alice.
Mother.
Are you ready, Tony?
Now, Mr. Kirby, I suppose after last night you think this family's a little, you know, crazy, right?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I would say that I'm not accustomed to going out to dinner and then spending the night in jail.
But you gotta remember, you came on the wrong night. Now, tonight, I bet you nothing crazy will happen, right? Maybe, anyway.
Look, Mr. Vanderhoff, it wasn't just last night that convinced Mrs. Kirby and myself that this engagement would be unwise.
Father, I can handle my own affairs. Alice, for the last time, will you marry me?
No, Tony, I know what your father means, and he's right.
What? No, he's not, Alice. How could you say that?
You honey, you're in love with this boy, but you're not marrying him because of the kind of people we are.
Grandpa.
Look, I understand you don't think the two families will get along, but maybe they won't. But who says they're right and we're wrong?
I didn't say that, Grandpa. I just feel that...
And I feel Tony is too nice of a boy to wake up 20 years from now with nothing on his head but stocks and bonds.
How's that?
You know, mixed up and unhappy. Like you.
I beg your pardon. I'm a very happy man.
Are you?
I certainly am.
I don't think you are. Where do you think you get that indigestion from, happiness? No. You get it because you do too many things you don't want to do.
I don't do anything that I don't want to do.
Yes, you do. You told me last night that after a week of Wall Street, you're pretty damn near crazy. Why do you keep on doing it?
Why do I keep on? Well, it's my business. A man can't give up his business.
Why not? You got all the money you need, eh? You can't take it with you?
Well, that may be easy for you to say, but I spent my entire life building up my business.
Yeah, and what has it got you, huh? Same meetings, same business dealings, same dinner, same indigestion. Where's the fun coming? Look, there must have been some point in your life where you wanted something a little more, huh? You know, we haven't have much time left, you know. Any of us.
Well, what would you have me do, Mr. Vanderhoff? Live like you do and do nothing?
I have a lot of fun. I got time to do things nowadays. Have a walk, have a chat with someone, go to the zoo. Even have time to notice when spring rolls around. I don't have 6 hours of stuff I have to do every day before I get 1 hour to do stuff I like it. And I haven't taken a bicarbonate of soda in 35 years. What's the matter with that, eh?
Well, the matter with that? Well, suppose we all did that. Everybody just going to zoos. I mean, don't be ridiculous, Mr. Vanderhoff. Who'll do all the work?
There's always people that go to work because they like it. You know? There are people who sail the 7 seas, invent things, clean bathrooms. Even people who go to Wall Street because they like it. But I don't think you're one of them people. I think you're missing something.
I am not aware of missing anything.
Well, neither was I till I quit. I used to be just like you. 9 a.m. every morning in that office, no matter how I felt. Laying awake nights, worrying if I get that contract or not. I used to worry about the world, too. Whether Cleveland or Blaine would be elected president. But, I mean, who cares now? Look, what I'm trying to say, I have had 35 years that nobody can take away from me, no matter what they do to this world. You see?
I do see, Mr. Vanderhoff. And it's a very dangerous philosophy. It's un-American. And it's exactly why I'm opposed to this marriage, because I don't want my son Tony under its influence.
What's the matter with it, Father?
Well, the matter with it? Why, it's downright communism. That's what it is.
You didn't always think so.
Oh, I always certainly did, yes. What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. You didn't always think so because there was a time where you wanted to be a trapeze artist.
Mike, Tony, don't be an idiot.
I'm not being an idiot. I read those letters you wrote to Grandfather. Do you remember those?
No.
Well.
How dare you read those letters? How dare you?
I think it's lovely, Mr. Kirby. Did you wear tights?
Certainly not. I mean, the whole idea is absurd. I mean, I was only 14 years old at the time.
Yes, but at 18 you wanted to be a saxophone player, didn't you? And at 21 you ran away from home because Grandfather wanted you to go into the business. It's all down there in black and white. You didn't always think so.
Well.
Well, I may have had some silly notions when I was young, but thank God my father knocked them out of me. I joined the business, and I forgot about them ever since.
Not altogether, Father. There's still a saxophone in the back of your clothes.
Oh, there is now.
That's enough, Tony. We'll discuss this later.
Later? I want to talk about it now. I think Mr. Vanderhoff is right. Dead right. I'm not going back into that office. I've always hated it, and I'm not going on with it. And I'll tell you something else. I didn't make a mistake last night.
What?
I knew it was the wrong night. I brought you here on purpose.
Tony!
Because I wanted you to wake up. I wanted you to see a real family, as they really were. A family that loved and understood each other. You don't understand me. You've never had time. Well, I'm not making your mistake. I'm clearing out.
Clearing out? What do you mean?
I mean, I'm not going to be pushed into the business just because I'm your son. I'm getting out while there's still time.
But Tony, what are you going to do?
I don't know. Maybe I'll be a bricklayer. But at least I'll be doing something I want to do.
That must be the cab.
Hey, Ed, tell him to wait a minute, huh?
Grandpa.
Alice, honey. Mr. Kirby, I think Tony's going through the same thing that you and I went through when we were his age. You know, if you listen very carefully, I bet you can hear yourself saying the same things to your father 25 years ago. We all said these things, and we were right. How many of us would be willing to settle when we were younger for what we eventually get? Look, even a handful of those people can even say they came close. So if I were you, before you clean out that closet of yours, I think I get a few good hours on that saxophone of yours.
I beg your pardon, but before I make the blintz, somebody will be for dinner.
Oh, may I introduce the Grand Duchess, Olga Katrina, then Mr. Kirby, that's Tony Kirby Jr.'s.
How do you do? Before I make the blintz, somebody will be to dinner.
Oh, a big stack of them. You never know who's gonna show up, right?
Good. My cousin, the Tsar, always says to me, Olga, do not be stingy with your blintzes.
Good philosophy, Joe.
Pardon me, but who did you say that was?
Oh, that's the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. She's making the dinner. And speaking of dinner...
You should stay. Oh, please, Mr. Kirby, we have all that food from last night for tonight. You should stay.
Yeah, stay. It'll give us a good chance to get to know each other.
How about it, Father? Are we staying to dinner?
Well, if you'd like to, yes, Tony. I'd like to stay very much.
Now, if Alice will send away that cab, Mr. Grandpa.
Yeah, Alice, honey, what do you think? Don't you think you should stay for dinner?
Alice, yes, I'm staying for dinner. And after all, don't you think our families should get to know each other?
Mr. Kirby. Tony. Grandpa, you're wonderful.
Yeah, I know, kid, I know.
Grandpa, here's a letter for you.
Oh,
it was in the icebox.
What is it this time? Oh, government again.
How do you do, Mr. Kirby?
How do you do? Yeah.
Now, if you'll step into my office, Miss Sycamore, I'd like to do a little dictating.
Oh, I better call off that cab then.
Well.
What is it, Grandpa?
The United States government apologizes. Seems I don't owe them a cent. Apparently I died 8 years ago.
Why? What did he mean, Grandpa?
Well, you remember the milkman we buried under my name?
Yeah.
I told them that I was Martin Vanderhoff Jr.
Oh.
And they're very sorry and... Yeah, I might get a refund.
That's amazing.
Exactly how did you avoid paying the income tax?
We can pay the mortgage.
Tonight, my friends, you will really eat.
Yay!
Hello!
How do you do?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm so glad to see you.
What has happened?
He relaxed.
Oh, it's my theme song.
Everything will be back in a minute. You can sit down.
Oh, dinner's ready, everybody. Come on, Mr. Kirby, sit down.
I'm coming.
You would really like Russian food, Mr. Kirby.
Oh, but be careful of your indigestion, Mr. Kirby.
Oh, I don't have any indigestion. Nonsense.
All right. Quiet, everybody. Quiet. Well, here we are again. And we would like to thank you very much. Everything's going along so good now. Alice is going to marry Tony, and I really believe that they're going to have a happy life together. Of course, the fireworks blew up, but that's not your fault. That's the finish fault. And we all have our health. As for anything else, we're going to leave that up to you. Thank you.
Grandpa, you paid another letter from Siberia.
Oh, save me that stamp.
I hope you like roast goose, Mr. Kirby. We're having roast goose for dinner.
I like it. It's my favorite dish.
I'm gonna dance for you later, Mr. Kirby. I got a new mazurka.
I printed some new music for it.
Mr. Kirby, tell me, what do you think of the Securities Exchange Commission?
Oh, Mr. DePinna, we gotta think about next year's fireworks.
Well, here goes the Adirondacks.
And a very good thing, too.
Help me.
Come on, you go to jail.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, before you go to jail, you gotta straighten up your act.
You know, you do more than Donald and Reba put together. I should pay you.
How much you paying them?
Nothing. Don't write any more classes. Alice just quit her job.
Oh, come on. Okay, I mean. Oh, look, you gonna do something?
One time.
What are we working on this?
That's my shit.
Sorry.
How about you grab those teacups where you do that? Yeah, it's intermission, guys.
Michael. She's amazing. We didn't hold this together. We love her.
The first one I want to thank is Danny because he was the one who cast us.
Typical actor's response.
Our fearless leader.
Thank you. No, but he's wonderful, and he was the one who orchestrated this whole thing with his deadly calm demeanor. And we love him and adore him and wish him luck in his future in the South because he's leaving next weekend. I'm not crying. You're
Art is only achieved through perspiration. As Grandpa said, it does help if you have a little bit of talent. So we couldn't have done it without all the talent that we had involved in this cast. I credit them with a whole lot of the credit of the hard work and dedication, everything that they did. They really drove the show to make it such a success. I wanted to actually single out Brooke myself, because in addition to doing the sound effects and doing the lights and whatnot throughout the show, she actually stepped up throughout rehearsals and had to take on different personalities when we had schedule conflicts and things like that. So one night she'll be a Russian, another night she'll be a drunk, and for her to take on. So I wanted to congratulate her.
Hey! You're the best, Brooke.
Thank you all for coming and supporting Community Theater. Hopefully we'll see you first on the season.
Thank you for coming, everybody. Thank you.